Welcome to Gun News Review. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo's administration has released an ad mocking the National Rifle Association's claim in court that it's facing financial ruin due to state regulations. In it, he says he's tired of hearing politicians say they'll remember shooting victims in their thoughts and prayers. Cuomo says in the clip, if the NRA goes away, he'll remember it in his thoughts and prayers.
You try to bully us in New York. We put our finger in your chest and we push you back. And that's what we're going to do with the NRA.
The NRA says it's lost millions due to the state's push to discourage banks and insurance firms from working with the organization, and it says it can't get liability insurance coverage as a result. The Giffords gun control organization says it thinks gun control will work to Democrats' advantage in key battlegrounds this year. Giffords executive director Peter Ambler told the Morning Score that gun control is going to be one of the top issues that Democrats will use to define their Republican opponents. Ambler said that it's been caught up in the morass of special interests that voters are frustrated with. Giffords sees a path to victory for Democrats by gaining support from voters in more affluent and diverse suburban districts that have historically voted for the GOP. Ambler said Democrats can reach out to disaffected Republicans who may like their tax cuts but are deeply uncomfortable with the direction of the Republican Party. The National Shooting Sports Foundation says its July 2018 adjusted National Instant Criminal Background Check system reflects a decrease of 9.5% compared to a year earlier. That's in contrast to the FBI's unadjusted figure for July that shows a 4.2% increase from the year before. The NSSF says the adjusted data is derived by subtracting out-purpose code permit checks and permit rechecks used by states for concealed carry application checks, as well as checks on active CCW permit databases. The foundation says that though they're not a direct correlation to firearms sales, the figures provide an additional picture of current market conditions. A leading Republican candidate for Connecticut Attorney General has lost her support from a gun rights group in that state. Susan Hatfield had been endorsed by the Connecticut Citizens Defense League in her primary race for Attorney General, but the group pulled the endorsement last week after Hatfield spoke out against 3D guns. The league said that it simply can't endorse the comments Hatfield made, but acknowledged it feels she would still make a far better attorney general than any of the other candidates in the state. Hatfield later defended her comments, saying that she will remain a strong supporter of the Second Amendment, but she's concerned that 3D guns will make the communities less safe and put law enforcement officers in harm's way. Some Illinois lawmakers are giving people in 3 counties the chance to have a say on gun control legislation. The 3 state representatives announced an effort to allow voters in Macoupin, Montgomery, and Christian counties to voice their opinion on legislation that restricts gun rights. Voters will be asked if the General Assembly pass any additional legislation that restricts a citizen's ability to own and possess guns or firearms. 2 of the state representatives introducing the effort say they will both be voting no, as they both oppose additional gun control legislation. You're listening to Gun News Review. Authorities in Missouri are urging gun owners to secure their firearms after 2 young boys there died in accidental shootings. A 3-year-old boy died in June when he walked out to the garage as his family slept. Police say he then climbed into a car and got a gun out of the center console and shot himself. Less than a week later, a 5-year-old died after he and his 7- and 3-year-old siblings were left home alone with 2 loaded guns out in the open. Local police say people should not underestimate children. And Gunbroker.com has announced the top-selling firearms for July in its online gun marketplace. Among the top-selling guns were the Ruger 1022 for semi-auto rifles, the Ruger Precision Rifle for bolt actions, the Marlin 1895 led lever-action sales, while the Benelli M2 Field was the top-selling semi-auto shotgun, and the Mossberg 590 led the pump-action category. For handgun sales, SIG's P365 Nitron Micro Compact was the top-selling semi-auto, while the Taurus Judge outsold all other revolvers. You've been listening to Gun News Review, comprehensive and concise.